Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hopefully you guys are doing good today. I got a fun little project I'm going to be doing today. It's going to be working on my 89 Ranger. I'm kind of in the middle of the Coyote swap right now, but as we're waiting for parts and everything, I want to actually work on my headlights. I have the two headlights are still factory headlights, but what I did is I had added, I'll turn them on here in a second, but I added LEDs on here years ago, and they're basically just a daytime running light is what I wanted for the truck. But some of the LEDs in there are going out. Here, I'll turn the power on. I got the battery disconnected, but so you can kind of see it's just a kind of a U-shaped or C-shaped design that I put on there. And you can see there's 1, 2 out on there, and the other side's got one a few out too. So today I want to basically remove both headlights, tear the lens off of it, and basically just replace the LEDs in the same shape as I have them. But I want to kind of upgrade, I guess, the lights in there a little bit. I'm going to try this kind of rope lighting LED light. It's basically the same thing inside, it's just that it has this coating on there which acts as a diffuser. So you won't necessarily see each individual light. It'll just be a nice solid light all the way around. If for some reason I can't get this to bend in that shape and look nice, I had picked up some of these other LEDs too that are actually a lot closer together, so they would look a little bit more like it had a diffuser on it. I could go with these lights here, and then some people will put like plexiglass over the top of the light as a diffuser, or some sort of acrylic or something, and then kind of tape over it so all the light emits through that acrylic. And that's a lot more work, so that's why I'm hoping I can just use this and solder it on. But we'll kind of see how once we tear the light apart, I can kind of show you a better picture of what I did, and we'll find out if this stuff will actually work. So I got the headlight out, I got the lens off. Take your time with removing that lens. Basically what you can do is heat up around here. When I originally did this, it was a lot more of a pain in the butt to get it off, just because it was from the factory. Being I had kind of sealed it already once, it came off easier. But just take your time working away around, kind of get a screwdriver or something flat blade, in between the two lenses, or between the lens and the housing, and just start kind of working your way around it, prying it off. Like a heat gun will help, and just take your time. But otherwise, you can see what I have here. What I have is actually some aluminum channel holding these lights that I kind of machined to fit right in here, and then I glued them to the housing. I might remove them because this I think will fit better if I take them off. But basically I have some strips here that I just stuck down to that aluminum angle iron in there, and then up in the corners you can kind of see I have just small pieces of wire that I soldered to each strip here, because you can't bend them obviously like that. So got a little bit of a soldering and wiring here too, and then on this end is where I have the wires soldered. And you want to protect to make sure, if there's aluminum underneath, you don't want that touching and shorting out. So I think I put some little piece of paper or something, electrical tape, something like that underneath to protect that from doing that. And then once you got them soldered, then I kind of siliconed over them. But I just run some probably 22 gauge wire and just wrapped it around, and then it comes out kind of the side here, and then I run that to a power source. So I'm going to get these lights removed off of here, and I'll probably show you the aluminum real quick, and then I'm probably going to end up pulling them off. Hopefully they come out decent. I forget if I glued them or how I glued them in, or if I used self-adhesive tape or what, but let's do that next here. It's always fun trying to get all this glue out of here, but I did scrape all this out on both the lens, back side of the lens here, and around the groove there. You kind of want that as clean as possible, I guess, when you go back together. But Yeah, you can see I got this. Let's see, this was the aluminum pieces here that I was talking about that just kind of fit in here that I had made, and I pulled them out because the light's going to sit in here better if I remove them. So got all that pulled out and cleaned up. Now I just want to wire in the new lights. So let's see, here's the little pigtail that was on there, so I'm going to have to solder the ends on there. I did make a different passageway here, kind of hard to see, but there's a little slot right there for the wires to run through, because it's going to be laying a little bit flatter here along the edge. So, but I got the light here, trying to flatten it out after being coiled up, and maybe real hard to see. There's two little copper terminals basically in there that I'm going to have to solder it to. So we'll get that in, soldered in, the wires run through, and then I can actually start gluing that in or tape that in. Probably a little of both. All right, here's the updated headlight. After getting all that cleaned up, I cut and measured the light in here to, get it to fit best I could. Kind of the key point or the trick to this, I should say, is a lot of these lights like this, you can cut them every inch. This one, you can kind of see those little black marks in the center there. That's every inch, and that's basically where you can cut them. Sometimes if you cut them in the wrong spot, then you'll get lights that won't work. So to get it to fit in here just perfect took a little bit, but I got it figured out, and I was able to bend it kind of nice and tight like the other ones were now. I also went and took some aluminum tape, just the same stuff you can get from a hardware store. Basically the bottom here in here was just this gray color, kind of like the outside, and well, you can kind of see it on the top there. It's not reflective, it's just kind of a gray color. So I thought, well, let's put some of that in there, it can't hurt. Get a little more reflection out of there, or hopefully that makes it brighter. But I got to put some of that on there on top here too. But I just kind of wrapped it over the top of the light a little bit. For one, it'll help secure it, and also it'll hide the white, like this side still has the white on it. Not that you would really see it in there once the lens and stuff is on, but it just kind of blends in real nice, so then all you're going to see is the light emitting out the front. So yeah, I'll do the top there, get that covered, and then I'll do a little strip right here. This is, just the aluminum tape that I'm using, used for duct work and stuff in houses. So it's actually coming along pretty good. But I'll get it hooked up here real quick, actually. See if I can do this one-handed. It's got a little power supply that I use for testing. I'll get the negative hooked up here. I'll turn it on, and you can kind of see it. So there we go. It looks real nice. Puts off about the same amount, if not a little bit more light than the other ones did. So, perfect. Now it's just kind of a matter of finishing up in here. Oh, I should show you this is the glue that I used. Just some Gorilla Glue, super glue. I've used this stuff on other things before, and it's worked pretty good. It's the gel type. Doesn't take long to set, but I clamped it down and let it sit for 20 minutes, maybe a half hour, just to make sure. And then that's why, just in case it were to come loose from vibration or heat or whatever, that's why I went with the aluminum tape over the top, just kind of a double securement, I guess. I'll also have to come in here, and I'm going to put just a little bit of silicone kind of in the edges and stuff to seal up that. Also just kind of in these little corners, just to kind of fill that in and help secure any of that from coming loose. So we'll wrap that up, and then next I guess we'll get the lens on and kind of onto the next headlight then after that. Here's the passenger side. I'm about kind of halfway through this one. The light's going to be running this way. So I got everything cleaned up here, all the silicone in the groove where the lens was. I got the lens cleaned up basically. Just got done drilling a different hole down in this corner for the wires to run out, because it's a little bit different spot, or being it's going to be flat and pretty close up there. So I lowered that hole. Those will get silicone shut when I'm all done, but right now I'm just getting ready to cut the light and put it in here, and then I can solder those two ends, run the wires out, and then I'll finish up putting more of that aluminum tape in here, just like the other one, and then hopefully we'll kind of be able to put the lenses on and just about wrap these things up. So, all right, got the passenger side soldered up, 2 wires. On this one, the positive is towards the diffuser, the lens, I suppose we call it, the clear part. Pretty delicate work here, trying to get a little tiny wire in there and solder it without melting it all the way through and wrecking it. So be prepared to kind of have to do this a couple times. What I did is I left this a little bit long, so once I get this soldered, if I screw it up, I could just cut to the next line and then redo it and still have enough, and I don't have to cut a whole new piece. So just kind of a heads up when you do that. But everything's working here. I just tested it, and we'll get that cut to length and installed in here. Okay, I got both side headlights done. Got them all, that aluminum tape put in here and all glued up. The only thing I do have to do is put a little silicone kind of in the corners, just to seal them up, and then seal up the wires coming through the housing. But I got to put the silicone around the lens too. But I'm going to put the actually go through and clean up the lenses using one of those headlight restoration kits, kind of to clean them up. They're not bad, but I just, while I got them apart, I might as well do it. So, but turn them on here for you guys. They look pretty sweet. I'm happy with them, so they should look nice on there. So yeah, just a matter of putting a little silicone on there, cleaning up those lenses, putting them back in the truck, and we should be done. So, but next I'll clean up those lenses and go from there. All right, last thing that I'm going to do here before putting the headlights back on the truck is I'm going to splice in a LED driver. Basically, it's a voltage regulator for the lights, just to keep the voltage pretty uniform. Sometimes you get voltage spikes that can take out the lights. I kind of had that. That's probably why my other ones went out. So this will help keep it steady current going to them. And I'm just going to splice it in here to this connector basically. So we'll get that spliced in, heat shrinked, sealed up, and then we should be able to put the lights back on. So I'll do this one and then do the other headlight, and then I'll show you once we're all done and lights installed. So there we go. Everything mounted back up, and lights are working great. I think they turned out awesome. Really happy with them. So glad I went through all that and redid it. And kind of a fun, easy little project. I think anyone can do this. Just got to take the time to sit down and tear them apart and go through them. But yeah, until next time, guys, thanks for watching this video. We'll see you later.